Is it on? So I've given in. I'm doing another vlog. It's been a while because I don't know, I don't really know what to vlog about. I didn't want to sit here and talk about like hair and beauty because I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. So I wanted to wait until there was something relevant that I could do a vlog about. So I found it. If you do follow my blog or you know me, or even on my Instagram, you'll know that I love travel, and I went travelling over a year ago to Southeast Asia. I always get messages or people ask me, you know, I want to go travelling but I don't know where to start, I don't know where to go, and I don't know where to book my flights. Can you help me? I thought I would do a video. If you're looking for something in particular, like insurance or what jabs you need, then I am going to do a breakdown in the description below of all the things I'm going to talk about, so you can skip to the bits of the video that you want to look at. So like I said, I went travelling. We flew into Bangkok, did Chiang Mai and all the islands in Thailand, went through Malaysia, then had a little unexpected detour and went to Bali in Indonesia, which was amazing, and then to Singapore, which is where we flew home from. Travelling was the best time of my life, and if you know me, you'll know that I don't stop going on about it, and I have so many amazing memories, and I learned so much about myself. It makes a lot of people independent. It forces you into situations that you have to deal with and you have to be grown up, and a lot of situations where you aren't so grown up and you can mess around and you can really like let go and have fun, and that was certainly one thing that I learned was, you know, like how to relax. And that sounds really strange, but I just done my A-levels and I'm a perfectionist, so I get really stressed and I get really like high expectations, I guess. So going travelling, there was none of that. There was no expectations, no exams, no, you know, it wasn't about money, it wasn't about celebrities, or it wasn't about, everyone was in the same boat and everyone just wanted to have a good time. There are loads of different ways that you can travel. I think it depends on your circumstances really. I mean, if you're on your own, you might prefer to do a pre-organised trip, and one that's, you know, the itinerary is already done, so that you go and you're guaranteed to be surrounded by people, you've got your hotels booked, your food's organised, your transport, and that's really easy. If you do decide to travel on your own, which a lot of people do without the pre-organised trips, then hostels are the best way to meet people because everyone's in the same boat. You'll find so many people that are travelling on their own. So when I was looking to go travelling, I walked in there and they have like a display of books or brochures of like all the different countries. So here I've got the Asia one. You can see that one, and I've got the Australia one. So they've just got in them, they've got all the hotels, all the main places that you might want to go to, all these pre-organised trips. So they have things like, you know, going and doing all the islands in Thailand, going up to Chiang Mai. There's so many different combinations, so there are lots to choose from. I guess the downside is that they are quite expensive. I think you're paying really for the fact that you don't have to worry about anything. Everything's organised for you, and their knowledge of, you know, where to go and stuff. But I think that's part of the fun of actually going travelling by yourself, and making it up as you go along. Another way you can travel is to volunteer. So you can volunteer in like villages, in like with animals. There's loads of volunteer schemes and stuff. STA also deal with things like that. Here I've got in Asia you can do Project China, which is with the pandas for 14 days, the elephants in Chiang Mai up north of Thailand, orangutans in Borneo, hill tribe check, so you go out and like hang out with all the village in different types of tribes and villages. So that's another nice thing to do, and something you could do if you're going by yourself. I didn't do it because normally they are like 5 or 7 or 14 days. Sometimes that, if you've got only a certain amount of time of work, then you want to get as much done as you can, and sometimes that can restrict you and maybe spend too much time in one place. You could, I mean, do it for a week if you're quite flexible with time, so go and do a week with the elephants or the pandas. Oh my god, it'd be awesome to do the pandas. So yeah, you could do a week and then, you know, have that as your set organised thing and then go off and travel. Or you could just do what me and my friend Leanne did. We just booked our tickets, had nothing organised when we got to Bangkok, and just made it up as we went along. It's not actually as scary as people think. Like, when I say that to people, they're like, oh my god, what, so you had nothing booked? Like, you just turned up there? Well, I tell a lie, we had our first Our first couple of nights we had booked in Bangkok just to, you know, settle us in. We booked our flights through STA Travel. The great thing about STA flights, or most of the STA flights, is that you can pay an extra, I think it was £40, and that means that you can have a flexi flight. So if you book your coming back date, but that flight is then flexible, you can change the date, I think it's up to 3 times without altering the price. So if you are there and you want to stay longer and you're loving it, then you can change it and come back a couple of weeks later or extend your trip. Otherwise, if you weren't enjoying it so much and you suddenly wanted to come home, you felt homesick, then you can bring it forward as well. If you do want to talk to STA, then you can book an appointment. It's really easy. You book it online and you get a confirmation. You can just go there like we did, knowing absolutely nothing, and they talk you through it, and you can go away and come back again. We also booked our first couple of nights accommodation. We stayed on Koh Sam Road, which is the busy road, the traveller road in Bangkok. I'll link the place that we stayed below. As long as you're on Koh Sam Road, to get in with the hustle and bustle of everything, kind of kickstart it in like a proper traveller fashion. Oh, hiccup. Back to transport. They have like all these little like tourist shops, like little shops, and they have all the main destinations, so like Phi Phi, Koh Phangan, places like that. They have them all written, and you just go in and say, there's 2 of us, we want to go to Koh Phangan for the full moon party, and they'll take the money from you, they'll give you a receipt and say that come meet here in the morning or we'll come pick you up. It's so easy to get around, and I think people don't realise that. It's catered for tourists. There are so many tourists in Thailand. They have trains, buses, although one thing I will say about the trains and buses is that they're never on time. Well, no, they're never on time. They take longer than they say they're going to take. If you are only there for like 2 or 3 weeks and you're really, you know, you don't want to waste time travelling, then you can fly between, say, Bangkok and Chiang Mai, or Bangkok and Koh Samui, Bangkok and Phuket, and access all the islands that way. They don't normally book the flights for you here, because it's a lot cheaper to book through the budget airlines in Asia. I think it's AirAsia that we used. You can get really cheap flights like internally, but no, we went for the buses and the boats and the trains. We did an overnight train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. I think it was like a £5 compared to probably like 70 quid flight. So there are lots of things you need to do before you go to Thailand. Lots of important things. One of them is getting a visa. I got a tourist visa which allows you up to 60 days to be in Thailand. I think it was £25. I've actually got my little passport here with it in. So you send off and apply for this, and then it just goes in your passport. Make sure you do it a couple of months before, because I think you send your passport off to them with an envelope, recorded delivery, so that they can send it back to you. Another important thing is travel insurance. So ensuring, you know, your belongings, your camera, yourself, your health. It was a bit of a brain ache, you know, trying to find that. I'm useless at finding things like that. Not many companies will insure like expensive goods, like £200-300 for a camera. So I got my mum to help me, and I think we went with Holiday Safe in the end. I will link them below. Phone insurance, I had to make sure that my phone insurance was worldwide in case I am on a trip and I get it wet and it breaks. You're going to need a backpack. Some people do take a suitcase, but it's long. Do it. Backpack it. Another thing I was told to do was get photocopies printed of your insurance and your passport. Make sure you email it to yourself so that you can log onto a computer and access your insurance and your passport should you need it. Last but certainly not least is jabs. When I went, I had Hep A and Hep B, which were free on the NHS, and typhoid, and then I paid for rabies. I don't think I had anything else. It depends where you go in Thailand. I think if you stay in the main tourist areas, then I don't think you're exposed to as much. If you, for example, go out and work with children or work in, you know, the green grass areas, and then I think there's Japanese encephalitis. And then I think in the more on the borders and in certain areas, you're at risk of malaria, so malaria tablets are another option. Basically, once you know where you're going, or you know kind of the areas that you're going, book a travel appointment with your doctors, which is what I did. One that I was told that was an option was rabies, which was £150 the jab. I just didn't want to pay £150, particularly like on top of everything else I was paying for when I went travelling. So I was like to Mum, oh, I don't know whether to have it or not. I'm not really going to get bitten by dogs. I'm not going to get into a situation where I'm going to get bitten by anything, am I? And she was like, Molly, don't be silly, like it's your health, you can't risk your health. So I got the rabies vaccination, which was a good thing because I got bitten by a monkey. I was in PP and went to Monkey Beach. I was taking a picture out to sea, came up from behind and bit me on the leg. I didn't aggravate it, I didn't try and feed it, which everyone does. So I have a nice little war wound scar on my leg from that. I obviously wasn't going to get the jab, but by having the jab, the pre-exposure, it allowed me 24 hours to get medical attention. So if you are going on a trek and you're far away from a hospital, or, you know, it allows you that time to get to hospital and get treatment. And I think the jabs last for like 5-10 years anyway, so good investment. Okay, so let's go on to what to take with you. Some people, like I said, do take backpacks. Some people take suitcases. I went proper traveller style with a backpack, which I borrowed off a friend. They can be quite expensive, and if you don't know if you're going to like travelling or if you're going to use it again, then sometimes it's good to see if a friend's got one that you can borrow. I got a 65 litre one, which I will link below. The less you take, the better, because you're going to be carrying it on your back, and if you're moving around a lot, then you know it's going to be on your shoulders aching. But the good thing about Thailand is the massages are like £2. So even if you've got backache from carrying your backpack, get a massage. I have actually done a post on what I took in my backpack, so specific toiletries, insect sprays. I think I took the Jungle 50 plus DEET. So I will link that below on what I took, exactly what I took in my bag with me. The main things that I'll point out were like travel adapters, a mini backpack, because you can use it as your hand luggage, and you know, if you're staying at a B&B or whatever, and you're going to the beach for the day, or you're going on a trip for the day and you don't want to take your massive backpack, so having a mini backpack was really handy, just to put your phone, your key, your a bottle of water, a bikini or a towel. Some more things that I found essential that I took with me were like my bum bag, bikinis, a little first aid kit for any little bumps and scratches or monkey bites that you need to cover up until you get to the doctor. I didn't really want to take anything that was too nice or too expensive with me, because it was going to get ruined by water and backpack carrying and jumping in the sea, and I don't know what you're going to do. But yeah, clothes out there are really cheap, so don't pack too much in your suitcase, because you'll want to buy loads when you're out there. But like I said, I've done a post with everything that I actually took. So another question people ask is the best time to go to places like Thailand. The rainy season is May to October. If you want like the heat and less of the rain, November to May. We were there obviously for May and a bit of June, but when it hit rainy season, it actually rained. I remember we were on PP and we'd gone back for 5 days, like we'd gone back again because we loved it so much, and for 4 of the days it like rained, it chucked it down. We were actually wading through the water. I mean, the things that lure you into Thailand are like these amazing pictures of these beaches and the sun and the blue, but when it rains it's not quite like that. Not so pretty. How much things are. Thailand is so cheap. Like I said with the massages, they're like £2. People go specifically like trips alone just to buy things like tailoring, like people go and get suits made or dresses made. They have massive like floating markets in Bangkok, night markets in Chiang Mai where you can get all your fake mulberries. Do you know what I got? I'm actually wearing them right now. These, what are they called? Harimi type pants. They are the best thing I ever bought. They are so comfy, and guess how much they were? £2. I think they were £2. I think they were originally like £4, and I think I haggled him down to £2. In terms of how much money I spent, I budgeted, I think it was about 200, 220 a week, which got me my accommodation, food. That was kind of including everything. So over the 2 months, what's that? I think I spent £2. In Bali, we were staying in these beautiful, we stayed in this honeymoon suite in Bali. Like everything was hand carved, and we had this like massive room. We were even doing cartwheels in the room. I think it was like £6 a night including breakfast. Like it was so beautiful. Your money just goes so far. And we never stayed in a hostel only because it was an extra £1 or something to stay in like a B&B, like have your own room. that included travel, included doing things like the trek in Chiang Mai with the elephants and the bamboo rafting, lots and lots of things. So that was us like comfortably spending that money. I think you could actually do it a lot cheaper, or likewise if you've got more expensive taste you could spend a lot more money. Thailand was really, really cheap, Malaysia was pretty cheap, and then Indonesia was ridiculously cheap. But then you get to Singapore and it's like, whoa, back to reality. Singapore's like London, London prices. That's when we actually stayed in a hostel for the first time. Even a hostel I think was like £25 a night. So Singapore we just did for 3 days luckily, because otherwise we would have been broke. Things to try. These are my little subheadings by the way. Chicken cashew nuts. It's like a dish out there. I lived off chicken and cashew nuts. Another thing you can do in Thailand is Thai cooking courses, which we did in Chiang Mai. So you learn how to do all their signature dishes, and then you can bring home a little cookbook. And you know, when I got back I was like, oh mum, I'm gonna make you chicken cashew nuts. And I haven't done it again since. Oh, my mum went to Thailand a few months ago and she brought back some coconut jam, which is awesome. You've got to try a Thai massage. You've got to go to the markets, have a little look at the ladyboys, they're actually incredible. Not really something to try, but although you can try it if you like. Ooh, my favourite bits. My favourite place that I went to was Bali. We flew with AirAsia, flew from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur to Bali, to Pansar or something. We actually got mopeds and went around the whole island. Places from Mount Batur, to the hot springs, to going up to, I think it was Lovina, up in the north of Bali, where we got out boats, I think at like 5 o'clock in the morning, watched the sunrise and the dolphins, and then went snorkeling. The food was amazing there as well. I went to Ubud, which is the kind of yoga spiritual centre. I went to the yoga barn there, and you can just go along and do any types of meditation. I did a sound meditation. Someone said, oh, why don't you go to the Gili Islands? It's only a short boat trip from Bali. We thought, oh, you know, well, whilst we're here we might as well. And it was the best thing we ever did. We got a boat across, I think the fast boat was £20 return. And it's like 3 little islands. Gili, Trawangan's the main one. I love the Gili Islands. I want to go back to the Gili Islands. It's like a proper island. You can walk around it in about an hour I think, or you can get bikes, which we did, and cycle around it. It's just like that paradise. Everyone's just chilling on bean bags and cocktails, and there's a food market, there's reggae music. It's just a perfect vibe, and it's super cheap, which makes it even better. The Gili Islands is actually what inspired me to write my first song, These Are the Days. If you didn't know I sung, then I'm a singer too. Yeah, you can listen to that on my YouTube channel as well. I also loved in Chiang Mai, going to the markets in Chiang Mai, and we did a 3-day trek. We were washing in waterfalls. The locals made us food and we put candles on, and we got like this little instrument out. We were having like a little sing song. Yeah, no, I loved it. It's good to turn your phone off and do those kind of experiences. Another favourite, oh, there was just so many, like I literally loved the whole time. The infamous full moon party, just being surrounded by people that are up for a good time. And there's lots of like parties in the build up to it, like the jungle party, the waterfall party. So it's just like a week of like completely letting go, having fun, having a drink. That was crazy. If you are looking for like specific information, like places to stay and like names of hotels and specific experiences, then I did literally blog the whole time I was there. So I'll link my blog below, and you can, you know, have an evening and just have a little read through. Actually, one thing I am going to say before I end this video is something I didn't know about. Wi-Fi. We all use Wi-Fi. You're using Wi-Fi to watch this video. I thought there'd be no internet, that we'd be on islands, you know, secluded islands with no internet and nothing. But there is internet everywhere, like there is literally internet everywhere. I am going to stop talking now. I hope I've given you some ideas or answered a few of your questions, or inspired you, you know, to go out and travel. Like, it is the best thing I ever did, and I would recommend it to anyone, whether it's a gap year or like even if it's a couple of weeks, just, you know, go out and go and see something new, and you will get addicted. If there is anything that I haven't covered and you really want to know, or you're desperate to find out, then just leave me a comment in the comment box below, and I will answer it, or try my best to answer it, and then everyone else can see the answers too. Get commenting.